to be able to fit the house that you're buying with the lender. You want this to fit really well. So you don't want to be Hey YouTube, it is me, Ashley, Keller Williams Real Estate in Everett. All right, so we're continuing the series. This video is about how to select the perfect lender, okay? So here's how I'm gonna present this. I'm gonna give you like the basics, and then I'm gonna give you kind of like the expert tips, like boom, how do you make this happen? Like, so you can have like the best experience, okay? Now, the first thing that I want to say is that you want to organize this a little bit, right? Because what you're going to do is ideally you want to be able to take like maybe 2, 3, maybe 4 lenders and kind of compare them apples to apples, okay? All right, so this is not a must-have, but it would be super ideal. So set up a spreadsheet, put your 4 lenders, and then you're going to just take like each column and call it something, okay? Because here's the thing that is tricky about looking at lenders. There are a lot of different loan products, okay? And because there are a lot of different loan products, sometimes you might call one lender and be like, hey, give me a quote. They quote you on one product, then you try to go to a different lender and they quote you on a different product. And so it's very hard to sort of understand what you're looking at unless you make sure that it's like the same product, you know, same rate, like if there's a buy down involved, same amount of money, all that stuff, okay? So here are the basics. Rate. Obviously, you know, the rate's super important, right? I mean, the rate is really going to like dictate what that monthly payment's going to be, okay? To some like pretty big extent. I mean, like, you know, changes in rates can make your payment a couple $100 more or less, okay? So compare the rates, the fees, and the knowledge of the loan officer, okay? So do they know what they're doing, okay? Do they know what they're doing? Have they been doing it for a while? You know, are they confident they're gonna make sure that they can like close the transaction, all right? The other thing is you wanna make sure that you have like really open communication, okay? Because here's what will inevitably happen. I mean, you know, because you're watching these videos, I mean, you're like already way ahead of the game, okay? You're going to get pre-approved, you're going to be underwritten, you're going to have done your research, and you're going to be like, boom, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to buy. Like, as soon as you see the house you want, you're going to pull the trigger, okay? But look, let me tell you, frequently with my clients, they go out, they see a house, they're like, oh my gosh, I like this house, not pre-approved. You know, they call me up, they're not ready to go, and they don't really get the opportunity to do this work here, okay? To make that comparison. And inevitably, it's like we're seeing a house on a Friday. The lender that they want to work with doesn't work on the weekend. You know, like they aren't in until Monday. Then we email them and like, boom, they're out of the office on Monday because they come in, they're on vacation or something, okay? You know, it causes problems, okay? Because, you know, in this market right now, you need to be ready to pull the trigger. You need to be ready to go. Because sometimes what happens is boom, they put the house on the market. Seller's like, okay. And, you know, they're looking at offers like the very next day, okay? So you want to make sure that this loan officer that you pick is available on weekends and evenings. Because seriously, inevitable. Like you'll be at an open house on a Saturday. You'll be at an open house on a Friday evening. And, you know, if you can't get a hold of them, then it really like impedes your ability to put forward a competitive offer, okay? Unless you're super prepared, all right? The last thing that I would advise you to just make a note, you could be like kind of like yes or no, is do you like this person? Okay? Do you like them? Because here's the thing. The lender relationship is interesting. Like it seems like maybe you would just have this person set up a mortgage for you, but you know, maybe they'd help you with the purchase of your next house. Maybe they would, you know, let you know, that it's time to refi. So you want this to be someone that you like and that you trust, okay? You want this to be somebody that you like and you trust, okay? So those are the basics. Like if you can get those, distill that down and have like a real nice look at those so that you can figure out who you want to work with, that's going to help a ton, okay? Now here are the advanced ones, okay? These are the advanced tips, all right? These are the factors that are really important with your offer, okay? Because let's face it, okay? when you make your offer, the seller and their agent is going to look at who that lender is, okay? And they may have some experiences with other lenders in the past, and you don't want to be picking the lender that everybody's like, man, this person never closes, or they just cause problems at the 11th hour. We're getting calls like 2 days before closing, the lender can't close. Like, okay, so important reputation. All right, number one, the reputation for completing transactions in the realtor community. All right, so look, there are certain lenders out there, I'm not going to name any names, where everybody's like, they're the worst, okay? I mean, I think the last thing you want is to present an offer to the seller, and you have one of those lenders, and the seller's agent says, well, we don't really want to go with that lender, or we won't accept that offer, or we want you to change lenders, okay? Like, that can happen. They can say, hey, we want to take your offer, but we don't want you to work with so-and-so. Okay, so very, very important. The other thing that's really super important is time to close. And what I mean by that is can they do like a 14-day close? Can they do a 21-day close? Another super duper advanced tip is you want to make sure that this lender has options, okay? And by that, what I mean is there are like kind of like the standard mortgages, okay? There's like a conventional, an FHA, VA loans. I mean, these are all like standard products with standard amounts down and all that stuff. But, you want to be able to fit the house that you're buying with the lender. You want this to fit really well. So you don't want to be looking for a house that needs a rehab loan, and the lender that you have doesn't do rehab loans, okay? So you have to kind of have an idea of what you're going into to make sure that you have the correct fit with the lender and the house, okay? The correct fit with the lender and the house, all right? And that there is key. I mean, you have to you really need to know. So one way to approach it is like, let's say you're like, I'm not really sure what we're going to end up with. One way to approach it is I told you, you're going to look at like 3 or 4 people. Maybe you make sure that you have in there someone who has the options, so that if you're like, oh man, we fell in love with a fixer and we need a rehab loan, you guys can go that way, okay? And I want to say up front really quick, you don't need to worry about it hitting your credit, okay? If you're going to go and you're going to look at like 4 different lenders, you can look at all 4 of them, and it's not going to affect your score like, hard hit, but you have to do them all in a short period of time, okay? So that's it. That's how you select a lender, okay? You're going to look at these criteria. You're going to look at rates, fees. You're going to look at their overall knowledge, their communication. Like, are you waiting days to hear from them, or are they like boom on top of it? Do you like them? What's their reputation like among the real estate professional community? What's their time to close? And do they have options? Okay. More often than not, like I occasionally have a client that's, boom, they've got like excellent credit. They've got excellent DTI, like they're like a square. They fit perfectly in the square box. But more frequently, I have people that are like outside of that. They need a different kind of approach. Okay. So having the options is key. All right. Having the options is key. So that's my video. I'm super excited about the next video in the series. I'm going to have a really dope expert who looks at credit repair. Okay. I mean, this is going to be like a super duper cool bonus. Okay. So I hope you guys are ready for that. If you have not yet liked the video, like it and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more of these videos. See you again soon, YouTube.